Welcome back to another episode of Her Expat Life. We are the YouTube channel that is dedicated to bringing female entrepreneurs, digital nomads, and expats all the information they need to advance their global lifestyles. Please make sure to visit our website, herexpatlife.com, to see the comprehensive list of services that we offer. And today we are joined by Giulia Porro, who is one of our partners, and we're going to deep dive into the topic of female leadership. In particular, where it's going, the challenges that women are facing in this role, and different tools and techniques that are available to us as females in order to enhance our leadership qualities and traits. Giulia, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm very excited to speak to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hi, Alexia. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Okay, Giulia, so you are a life and success coach. You describe yourself as a rebel, a world explorer, and a multi-passionate woman on a mission to help people discover and become their authentic leader that they are meant to be. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you found yourself doing what you're doing right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, my journey, let's say, as an entrepreneur, didn't really start off, in the most, let's say, common way, right? Like, I didn't wake up one day saying, wow, I really want to be an entrepreneur. I really want to empower women. I really want to, like, this was not my experience. So my path was like more common, so to speak. Basically graduated, I studied economics, and I went down, the corporate rabbit hole, so to speak. So I just really started off as a normal girl who studied and who wanted to, explore the corporate world, right? Because she was taught to do so, right? So it was like the most linear, normal, the most, let's say, common thing to do, basically. Yeah, so that's what I did. And of course, starting off in the corporate world gave me a lot of experiences and a lot of tools, but still there was something for me that wasn't really working. So, and I thought it was about me, I thought I was the wrong one, quote unquote, right? Like, why am I not really fitting in any corporate job? Why am I not really successful? Why do I struggle to, climb the corporate ladder? Why do I always have some sort of, not really fights, but, misunderstandings, maybe with colleagues or with bosses? So, like, is there something wrong with me? And then I realized after a few years that I was really trying to, bark at the wrong tree. I think this is a thing, right? So I was really trying to be something that I really wasn't. I was trying to fit in the corporate world without really being passionate about the corporate world, right? So yeah, of course, I've always been very passionate about everything that had to do with personal development, with mind-body based tools. I've always been a big fan and nerd of astrology. So there was really something in me that wanted to basically come out in terms of how can I not only help other people, but also help myself being more aligned, right? Being more in my truth, being more in my authenticity, and really express my potential to the fullest, basically, right? So there was something in me, and of course, working with counselors and with coaches really helped me develop this side and really helped me embrace aspect of mine, basically. And that's when something really switched for me, and I was like, okay, I just really don't want to work in the corporate world anymore. I just really want to explore other things and other adventures, basically. And that's where I am now. And I'm always a work in progress, and this is something that I would love, to get across as a teaching point, so to speak, is that we are all work in progress, basically. So to whoever is listening to us, doesn't really matter, if at this point in your life you don't have all the things figured out. It will come. We are all work in progress. We are here to evolve and to explore. So it doesn't really matter if at this point you are not really clear as to who you are, what you want to do. Just the fact of asking yourself questions is really, really powerful. So you can definitely, take it from there. Yeah.
I love that we're a work in progress. Sometimes I feel like we're pressured to have everything figured out by a certain age or
Oh,
reach
totally. By
certain.
18, if not earlier, right? There is
Yeah,
so much
yeah,
pressure that,
yeah.
yeah, we are bombarded by all sorts of, information and all sorts of subtle, directions. Of course, can work for some people, which is great, but don't necessarily work for everyone, right? And as soon as you understand that you are not in this cluster of people who have it all figured out, you're not screwed, quote unquote. But there's other ways that you can explore. Yeah, totally.
Okay, my next question to you is that I've heard you mention real leaders aren't born but made. Can you elaborate on the key qualities or skills that can transform someone into a great leader?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, there is some talent, then some natural inclinations. Like there are people who are born, with certain skills and capacities, ease to do something. That's totally true. Not all people, but also I think that when it comes to be a real leader, and when I speak about leaders and leadership, I first and foremost think about be a leader in your own life, right? Be a leader, right? Like your own leader. And that, of course, can get translated into your career, into your business. But first and foremost, you have to be a leader, in your life, basically, right? And so what I think gets often misunderstood or not really seen as crucial is self-reflection, right? I really think that if you want to be a leader, you have to be very, very capable of dive deeper into yourself, right? And really give yourself the time, the permission, the grace to really explore like who you are and how you function on a deeper level. What motivates you, what drives you, what is yours and what it's not. And you cannot imagine how many women come to me with a specific idea as to what their goal is and what they want to focus on, what they want to work on. And it seems that they have it all figured out in terms of this is where I want to go, this is who I am, and this is what I want to work towards. Just to discover after a couple of sessions that this is really not what I want. This is not really who I am, because most likely what we think we want has been conditioned, is a product of societal conditioning, family conditioning, whatever, right? And so the fun thing is really to see how women can really shift into their most authentic and true version of themselves as soon as they really ditch their false definition of success, if that makes sense, right? So as soon as they discover what they truly stand for and what they truly want, rather than what they thought they should want, right? So, yeah, and I really think that self-reflection helps with that, just really giving yourself the time and permission, the space to explore who you are, how you function, ask yourself important questions, and work with a coach, maybe really this space, this allowing of a deeper perspective of yourself. I think it's key. And also because if you are a leader, you want to, like, business wise and career wise, you want to inspire other people, right? You want to guide them, or you want to inspire them. And how can you inspire others if you're not inspired yourself, right? If you're not able to inspire yourself, if you're not working towards something, right? So yeah, I think that self-reflection is really the key to advance as a leader, whether it's in your life, in your community, in your corporate world, in your business. Like self-reflection is probably still the most underrated skill, so to speak, or thing that we associate with the word leadership. But in my experience, it's really, really crucial. Yeah.
I really like that idea of, in a sense, doing for yourself first what you would have to do for those you lead. So
Absolutely.
finding out what makes you tick, finding out your authentic voice, finding out your strengths and weaknesses in order to be able to do that then for other people when you are leading them. I really like that
Yeah.
idea of leading yourself first, doing the
Yeah.
work first, and then you almost have authority in a sense of, hey, I've done this for myself. It adds more
Mhm.
gravitas to you being able to lead somebody
Totally.
else.
And
Yeah.
and something that comes to mind while you're speaking, it's not that we as leaders we have to have it all figured out, right?
Mm.
Doesn't mean that we don't have stuff to work on. It doesn't mean that we're all like perfect all the time. It doesn't mean that we don't get help. Like being a leader doesn't mean that we are above someone else, we are on a pedestal or anything like that. It's just really, I think, being able to show others that they can be leaders in their own and unique way. Basically, that's something that I really, really want to inspire women to do, right? That there is no one size fits all. There is no one way of being a leader. There is no one way of doing things. Your own way can really work. And, showing others that your own way can work really inspires them to discover and then go after their own unique way as well. Right. So yeah, just to say that being a leader doesn't mean not being a work in progress, what we were saying before, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
we all are. And thank
Yeah.
God, actually,
Thank
right?
God. Yeah. Life would be really
So
boring if
boring,
we
right?
had,
Yeah.
yeah. Life would be so boring if we had it all figured out and didn't have room for
Totally,
progress. Yeah.
totally, totally.
Okay, so we touched on this, but I'd like us to deep dive a bit more. How
Mhm.
does social conditioning, especially for women, impact their ability to step into leadership roles?
I think like societal conditioning impacts both men and women, right? So it's not really something that touches on women only. Of course, my work is geared towards women, it's focused towards women. So that's where my expertise lies. But honestly, I see a lot of, male friends who suffer from societal conditioning as well, maybe in different forms or with different nuances, but it's not something that they are immune to, right? So but just for women, again, especially, there are two like opposite sides of a spectrum, right? There are women who have been conditioned to like stay quiet, quote unquote, and have a family and not just really be ambitious, not be focused on work and whatever. Like there is this narrative, and then there is the opposite narrative of you can be exactly like a man, right? Or you can perform like a man, or you should be approaching things, life, career, as men do, and this forced, so to speak, equality at all costs that doesn't really take into consideration the fact that, again, thank God we are different. Men are men, women are women. That's the potency of it, and that's the beautiful thing about it. So I see a lot of women who are really pushing so hard and who are so much in their male energy, of I need to make things happen and I need to work as a man, and like work life balance doesn't really exist, or I have to do all the things, and like this is too much. And I think that there are so many other ways to be, again, a woman leader that really don't fall into either of these two opposites, so to speak, right? So yeah, this is what I see. This is what I see a lot with women, especially. Not many women who are in this very feminine and this very receptive and kind of passive role, who maybe suffer because they would love to do more and be more and achieve more, but they have been conditioned to just, stay in the back and not really go after what they want. It's really more, in my experience, women who want to operate as men, and who see success as men do. The work that I do with them is really to dismantle and really deconstruct and see what's really important to them, and all the stories that maybe they have catched, from the past and from their family. Of course, everyone means well, when educating their children. But although they don't serve us anymore, right? Maybe they served us when we were 10 or whatever. Now maybe they don't serve us anymore, right? So it's really interesting to see, again, what belongs to me, what is really efficient for me, what helps me move forward, and what doesn't, and a lot of stories get dismantled and really get to be rewritten in a coaching journey. And that's really powerful. As soon as we understand that we are not operating from our truest self, but we are kind of operating autopilot, it's really interesting to see what unfolds from that, just from this simple awareness, without doing necessarily anything, but just by understanding, this is not mine, and this is not really what I would love to do. Boom, this really opens up so many different scenarios. It's super fun.
I really love what you're talking about here, because I feel like, as women, we are at least conditioned to believe in the corporate space. We have to harden ourselves. We have to take on these more masculine traits, which is in a way a self-perpetuating problem, because then we're not allowing space for genuine feminine energy to have a role in corporate, which is so necessary, because there are so many things that a female energy and perspective brings to the workspace that is lacking. So this idea that we need to mold into this system that wasn't designed for us, instead of redesigning the system to be more accommodating, I think that's one of the challenges that we're seeing. And I'm really happy to hear that this is kind of what people are waking up to, because the corporate space, it can be tough. It can be tough if you feel like you need to, completely redesign who you are, just in order to have an opportunity at a leadership role. So
absolutely. Yeah. Both the corporate world as well as entrepreneurship. Yeah, they can be really, really hard. They are very different, like the mindset that you have to have in your approach. And, it's like completely different worlds, but still they both come with challenges, and they both come with this false idea that you somehow need to be someone else in order to succeed, right? When it comes to entrepreneurship, I need to be doing what this other successful entrepreneur is doing, otherwise I'm not going to make it. And the same goes with the corporate world, like this other coworker got the promotion, and let me do what they did. Or, if I don't conform to the, ideals and values of the company, then, I'm just not going to make it either way. I'm just, either way, it's hard. Either way, I see that, really authenticity and the type of leadership that we want to see more and more in the world is still not enhanced. It's still not facilitated. And of course, that's a shame. But yeah, we will get there.
One step at a time. Okay, so there's something that I heard you mention, which I found quite interesting, and I'd like us to unpack this a little bit. So you advocate for relaxed leadership. Please explain to us what you mean by this and how it can be achieved.
Yeah. So it's relaxed leadership, and also slow business when it comes to entrepreneurs. And it's basically, like, in a nutshell, it's the opposite of the hustle culture that kind of gets glorified both in the entrepreneurial as well as in the corporate world. Again, I see so many women who operate from a place of burnout, from a place of misalignment to their own values. I do understand how that happens. And I do understand that women who do so probably don't know that there are other ways, right? So I'm really happy to show them that they can be, successful. And again, whatever success means to them, because, maybe again, for someone, be successful means, I earn decent living, and I just work a couple of hours a day and I enjoy my lifestyle and I travel around the world, and that's success, for them, right? And maybe to some other people, success is, I don't know, 10K months, and just work 8 or 9 hours a day. Just it really depends. So it's crucial to understand what your own definition of success is, and then start working kind of backwards. Okay, this is what I mean by success, and this is what I want my life to look like. Cool, how can I make it happen? So from my perspective, like career, work, business need to be something, don't have to fit in your life. It's actually something that can be a tool to help you create your desired lifestyle, right? If that makes sense. And that's also why I resonate so much with the mission of Her Expat Life, because it's really all about lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So work doesn't have to be, piece of the puzzle that you need to, like squeeze in order to make it work, but it's actually a tool that can enable you to not only express yourself and have fun and make an impact on whatever your values might be, but also from a more tangible perspective, it needs to be something that really helps you reach your desired lifestyle, right? So this is what I really love to support women with, just move out of this misconception that in order to be successful, you need to be doing one specific thing and you need to work your butt off. There are so many other ways that you can be successful and create a lifestyle that really resonates with you and with your values, right? So and it's really not about work all the time, but it's also really about exploration, and it's really about play, and it's about rest. So many other things that need to have space in your life if you really want to create a lifestyle that responds to your values and to your needs, basically. Yeah.
And that's sustainable, because it's not sustainable
Totally.
to go maximum capacity all the time. It's especially the
Totally.
female
Mhm.
biorhythms. We're not designed in that way. So I think
Absolutely. Absolutely.
we
Yeah,
have to
yeah, yeah.
think about
This is something that I really explore a lot, because again, we don't function in the same way. We're all different. So as soon as some tools that we will probably touch on, as soon as you understand how you function also on an energetic level, things can really shift dramatically. Because you don't force yourself to operate from a place of burnout, basically, because if you don't understand how you function on an energetic level, you're basically setting yourself up for burnout, right? Sooner or later, right? So it's really, really crucial to, again, embrace the fact that we're all different and we're not here to function in the same way.
explain the concept of nervous system regulation and how it plays a role in your coaching approach.
Yeah, nervous system regulation doesn't really mean that you have to, like, this could be a misconception, maybe, for people who are not in the coaching space, in the self-development space. It doesn't mean that you have to be like calm all the time, that you have to be like super chill. That's not, or relaxed and sleep all the time and not do things. That's not what a regulated nervous system actually is. It's really about having responses and not reactions, which is different. Response is different from a reaction. And also really understand when you are in a, let's say, stressful situation, like in a fight or flight mode, right? So different hormones will get activated and you are ready to, like, quote unquote, fight, right? Adrenaline comes in, and this is all good. This is the sympathetic nervous system. If you are all the time in this fight or flight mode, you're going to have problems. You're going to not function at your highest capacity, right? So there needs to be a balance between your sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. You really need to understand when you are in a stressful situation and you need to respond, which is great. We all need that, otherwise we will be asleep all the time, right? But again, there has to be a balance, and you have to understand when you are in a stressful situation and when you're not. When specific hormones like stress hormones need to get activated and when they are completely unnecessary. So if your body produces them, you're going to misfunction on other levels, basically, right? So it's really about having also not only the awareness as to when am I in a really stressful situation, when do I need to respond and when not, and also have tools, to regulate that. This could be like very simple exercises, this could be meditation, this could be simply, breathing, this could be EFT, or some other tools and techniques that really bring you back in the present moment and that really help you regulate again your nervous system. But yeah, what I really want people to understand is that being regulated doesn't mean being relaxed all the time. Like, it's not something that we need. We need the stress, we need the challenge, we need this fight or flight response. Absolutely. We just don't have to be there all the time. The more we are in tune with ourselves and the more we are in tune with our nervous system, the more we are capable to function, on other levels as well. I think this goes hand in hand with self-reflection, sorry, and just really understand how you function and what your body responses are as well. This is crucial because I see so many women, especially women leaders, women entrepreneurs, who operate from the neck up to the head, right? And there's nothing below the neck, like they're really not in tune with their body, they're not in tune with their sensations. They don't trust their gut, like so many things that don't really serve you, right? Don't really serve you in operating as a leader, right? And nervous system regulation really plays a big role when it comes to showing up as a true leader and also having success in business. Because if you are dysregulated, most likely everything else in your life will experience some sort of dysregulation.
So you mentioned using tools like meditation and emotional freedom techniques.
Yeah.
How do these practices contribute to personal and professional growth?
Again, I think that entrepreneurship, but also, the corporate world, if you want to climb the corporate ladder, those are powerful, let's say, gyms for your personal development as well, right? They really challenge you on so many levels. They really can bring you stress. They can really show the worst parts of yourself as well as the best parts of yourself. So again, the more you have a toolbox that really helps you navigate through the ups and downs of life in general, I think the better, because we are so exposed and bombarded by, information and, conditioning that we were talking about before, and so many other things that really, make noise, basically, right? And the more noise we get from the outside world, and the less we are really able to tune into ourselves, right? And really listen to our own voice, our own intuition, our own desires, our own body. And so all these tools, EFT or tapping, restorative yoga, like a bunch of different things that are really mind body based tools, really what they do in a nutshell, they really help you get back to the present moment. They really help you get back to your body, and that helps you, of course, see that you are not in a stressful situation, and so you can respond, from a place of alignment rather than simply reacting. Those tools really help you center yourself on a deeper level, and this can only have positive ripple effects, in your life, in your business. Yeah, so that's my opinion in a nutshell. Just really know yourself, and the more tools you use to know yourself and to regulate yourself, the better results you will have in your day-to-day life, on all levels, basically.
Let's dive a little bit more into these tools because some people might not be familiar with what they are. So you've mentioned things like EFT. I know that you also work with NPL and human design. So what, if you could give us an overview, what are these tools? What do they do for people and how do they
Yeah.
work?
Yeah, basically. So EFT is something that I use in sessions a lot. Like, and NLP is neuro linguistic programming, which is basically a tool that we use in coaching. But yeah, it's not really something that I use that much, to be honest. These days, my approach is a bit more holistic. When it comes to EFT, for example, it's tapping. Like if you see someone, tapping on some points of their face, that they are probably doing EFT. Again, it's a mind body based tool, kind of recent, kind of like an acupuncture, but without needles. Like we use fingers basically, and it's based on the Chinese medicine, and it basically says that by tapping on certain points of our, not only our face but our body, this helps restore the energy in our body, right? It helps the energy flow more correctly through the meridians, right? Like the channels that we have in our body, according to the Chinese medicine. So basically it says that all the trauma, all the difficulties that we experience, they come from an unbalanced energy flow in our body, right? So by tapping into these points, we basically help the energy flow more freely. And what we do also is we lower the intensity of the trigger, of the problem, so to speak. And this helps a lot when it comes to both physical as well as psychological issues. It helps with traumas, it helps with a bunch of different things. And of course, you can associate this tapping on these points with affirmations, with things that you basically tell yourself. And by tapping and using tapping with affirmations, it basically helps you create new neural pathways, right? It helps you really, create slowly new beliefs and new things that you can then apply into your life. And some, shifts can be pretty immediate, with a couple of sessions, and, with some other, issues or situations you maybe need more time, but I see a lot of beautiful results when it comes to EFT, because it really helps you, let's say, lower the emotional intensity of the problem, the issue that you are experiencing. And at the same time, so it relaxes you a lot. And at the same time, with the affirmations, with tapping, it really helps you create new pathways for yourself. And this is pretty amazing. So this is something that I use a lot as a mind body based tool. There is restorative yoga, which is very slow and graceful, and but still very potent type of yoga that again helps you tap into this parasympathetic nervous system that we discussed before, and it really helps you to rest and digest more. And again, this works both on a physical level as well as on a mental and emotional level, because something that we oftentimes forget is that trauma, quote unquote, like not necessarily big traumas, but things get stored in our body basically, right? And the more we are able to release this energy from our body, of course, the better, right? And so also restorative yoga helps a lot when it comes to activating this more relaxing part of our brain that really helps us slow down and come more towards a relaxed state of being, so to speak. So this is also very powerful. And these are basically the tools that I use. And Well, there's actually one more, but you will probably ask me about it right now.
You read my mind. Okay, so the big one that I want to discuss with you is human design, because I've seen it kind of popping up in numerous places, and I actually did a little bit of my own chart, but it's a
Yeah.
little bit overwhelming for someone who doesn't really know what
No,
it's
I
about.
know.
So can you tell us, what is human design and how can it be used in our lives? What is the purpose of it?
Yeah, totally. Well, human design is one of my main passions. It's really like when I discovered it, like it's probably 3, 4 years ago, it just really clicked and it made so much sense for me, especially, having a background in astrology. So human design is a tool. Again, it's a tool that combines different disciplines, like more ancient ones like astrology, or the chakra system and the Kabbalah, as well as more modern science like quantum physics. So it's basically a blend of different things. And again, as you said, it could look kind of overwhelming. Like, what is this? Like when people first look at their body graph, at their chart, they're like, Giulia, what is this? Please help me out. um, but yeah, it can feel confusing. But as all other tools like astrology and other things, it's really about knowing yourself better. It's really about understanding how you function so that you can encounter less resistance in life, right? Because the more you are yourself and the more you operate from a place of alignment, the more your reality will reflect that back to you, right? So you will be more in flow, you will encounter less resistance in your life. So that's basically what all these tools aim to, right? And specifically when it comes to human design, it just really gives you an energetic blueprint of yourself, which is amazing. And it basically starts with the assumption that each and every one of us is different and we are not supposed to be operating like someone else. We are here to function as we are designed, right? And the more we are true to that, the more flow and satisfaction and fulfillment we will experience in our lives, basically. So that's what human design is in a nutshell. And it also gives you, information as to how you are perceived by others, how you impact others, how others impact you, what your purpose in life is, how you should make decisions from a place of alignment so that you don't end up in situations that you basically regret or that burn you out. So it really gives you a lot of insight. It really gives you a lot of information. It can be used for so many things, like could also potentially tell you where to live, or if you are supposed to be sleeping alone, or because other people's energy can drain you or not, like so many different information. And I use it a lot when it comes to help women discover their potential and understand maybe some patterns that keep repeating themselves, and that of course are not useful to them. Also, it could be a very interesting tool when it comes to personal branding, for example. Like, how can I show up as the best version of myself? What am I here to do? How am I perceived by others? What are maybe some tweaks that I need to make in order to really be seen as the authentic leader that I am? And how can I express myself in a more credible way? Like, so many things that have to do with personal branding. Basically, this is something that I explore a lot when I do also my human design readings, and it's really, 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 really fun. Yeah, and the cool thing is that people oftentimes don't. It's not that they don't resonate with their design, but they're like, oh wow, this resonates a lot with me, but I have been operating for 30, 40 years in a completely different way. So like I'm completely out of alignment when it comes to my design, right? And it's really interesting to see that and to give them an additional tool to you know for them to feel that they have permission to really be themselves, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's really, really interesting how people can shift into more efficient and into more efficient behaviors and way of living and way of showing up as soon as they get this permission slip to truly be what their design suggests them to be.
Mm-hmm. I really like the idea of an energetic blueprint, because I think it's something that in day-to-day life we don't give it much thought, but surely should be the thing that underwrites most of our decisions in life, understanding ourselves energetically and how the world around us impacts us. So I'm very curious about human design, very interested.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. No, it's really a potent tool that I implement in my coaching work, as well as I do one-off readings, just for people who want to experience that and who want to start shifting and start working with that information. And it's really it's really powerful. Yes, that's in a nutshell what that is for me. It is really powerful, more powerful than any other tool that I have experienced and learned when it comes to self-awareness and self-reflection. It's very potent. Yeah.
On that note, Giulia, how can people get hold of you? How can people reach out to you?
They can definitely either shoot me an email, which I think will be written down in the description box, however we want to call it. Yes, they can send me an email so we can have a chat. They can connect with me on LinkedIn, which is the social media platform where I am most active, or they can take a look at my website and see what I'm doing. Yeah, and they can basically reach out to me from that place as well. So I would say email, LinkedIn, website are all working. So yeah, they can definitely do that, and we can explore what we can do together. Yeah.
Amazing. Just a reminder for the listeners at home, Giulia is one of our partners on our membership program. So if you visit her expatlife.com/membership, you can sign up for our membership program and get discounts from a range of partners that we have globally, not just life coaching, but co-living, co-working spaces, fitness studios, beauty salons, you name it. We have partners globally that offer our members specialized discounts. So make sure to check that out on our website. And we are also launching an app really soon. I can't say too much, but make sure that you keep posted to our social media platforms, Instagram in particular, and on TikTok, and you will see more information as the days go by. And on that note, Giulia, I want to say thank you very much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure speaking to you, and I really hope our listeners feel more empowered to step into their feminine as leaders. I really hope this is what we've inspired.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Giulia.